Good afternoon. Welcome back to Kevin Toll Reads. So today I have my book review of Hit and Run by Lawrence Block. This is book number 4 in the John Keller series. This book was published in 2008. The summary of this book is Keller and Dot are contemplating maybe one last job, thoughts of maybe it's one job too many or it's the last job that kind of nips you in the bud type thing. And so they end up taking the job because the job comes from Call Me Al, which is the gentleman that sent them the cash and says, I'll be calling you sometime for help, for a favor type thing. And so they feel obligated because they, how Dot is, she doesn't want to give the money back type thing. And so Keller ends up going to Des Moines, Iowa to do a job, and his point of contact there keeps having him check in, and it's shady, and Keller's very, very paranoid and is checked into a different hotel and drops the prepaid phone that the point of contact gave him and finds a new way to get a hold of them, and they keep putting him off, and one more day, maybe tomorrow, and the next thing you know, he ends up with his face and his description plastered all over the news. And so Keller's immediately on the run, running for his life, trying to avoid major-ish cities, trying to figure out how, to stretch out his cash, because what little cash he did have, he obviously spent some on stamps. And so he's trying to make his way back to New York, to his apartment, and to his beloved stamps to see if they're there. But his cover is completely blown, and he's trying to make his way back. And when he's trying to get a hold of Dot on that number, it goes nowhere. And so that's the premise of the story. So what did I really enjoy about this story? Well, there's a lot to unpack because this was really good. I really felt like book 3 was, in my reread of this series, was going to be like my favorite book, but definitely this one takes the cake so far. It's really a kind of a tour de force from Block, because you have there are a lot of different emotions. You have this reservations and paranoia about doing one last job before he's retiring and he's done, and then he's on the run, and then you have his life's turned upside down, and then the end, it's kind of turned right side up, but under really different circumstances. So Block does a really good job organically going through these different emotions and different kind of perspectives and moods of Keller as a main protagonist. Then I really enjoyed the part where Keller meets Julia and the circumstances in which that happens. And I don't want to spoil that, even though usually I do have some kind of spoilers. I don't want to spoil that, but how he goes about their kind of meeting each other is very unique. And in Keller true fashion, he starts pondering a life with Julia. But even so, like beforehand, when he's going across the United States trying to avoid cameras and everything else, he's Keller in the truest sense of the word. He's on the run from the police, but then the next thing you know, he's trying to be very introspective about the most mundane things. And that's really what I've kind of enjoy about him so much is, in the midst of that high pressure situation, he just thinks about the craziest things. I also like the fact that the back half of the book, we get to see Keller kind of settling down. He does a good job. He obviously starts having a relationship with Julia, even though things aren't always tight. And there's this big, obviously unanswered issue with Call Me Al and how they sold him out. And so, he needed to figure that out. There's also this issue as he finds out right before he makes his way to New York, where the house in White Plains is burned to the ground and there's a lady that was shot twice in the head in there. And so what's going on with Dot? And so there's a lot that happens. And so I don't want to spoil it all, but I really like the last half of the book. You have interrogation, you have trying to button up loose ends, trying to get their anonymity back and trying to take care of Call Me Al. It's just, and then there's a huge reveal at the end that sets up for the next book. And so there's so much to enjoy. I really didn't have any dislikes in this book whatsoever. I'm really happy that I'm doing the reread. I have one more book and then a novella, and I'm actually going to start. I actually started the next book uh, earlier, and I hope to get that done tomorrow so I can do a book review before my business trip and give you guys an update on book 5. Definitely, this is a bonus book this week, and I'll talk about that in my weekly wrap up. But I already read my 3 books, my goal, and this was a bonus book, and then I've moved on to book 5 already, and that's going to be another bonus book. But Lawrence Block, Hit and Run, book 4 of the John Keller series is, I rated this book a 4.6. It's my highest rated book in this series, and my reread of the series. I really enjoyed this. I flew through this book. It's such a good book. I hope you're having a great Friday and enjoy your evening. More than likely, I'm probably have another video. I've been pumping out videos a lot this week, and I've got more content that I want to get out in preparation for being on a business trip next week. So stay tuned and drop me a comment below if you've read any John Keller books in your reading lifetime. I'd like to hear from you. But anyways, happy Friday. I hope you're having a great day. Thanks.